Full-size trucks are averaging $66,000. Financing makes it worse. Right now, 38,000 Ram heavy-duty trucks are sitting unsold across America, and one brand publicly admitted its own decisions sent loyal customers straight to Ford and Chevrolet. This isn't a slowdown. This is a reckoning. Here are 11 trucks the market has rejected and exactly why. Number 11. Hyundai Santa Cruz. Hyundai's pitch was logical on paper. Take the bones of a popular crossover, open up the rear cargo area, and sell it to buyers who want some truck utility without fully committing to a body-on-frame pickup. They called it a sport adventure vehicle. The market's response was far less charitable. In 2025, Hyundai sold just over 25,000 Santa Cruz units in the US, a 20% drop from the prior year. The Ford Maverick, its only direct competitor in the compact truck space, sold over 155,000. That's not a close race. Those are two different conversations entirely. By year-end, Hyundai dealers were sitting on nearly 5 months of unsold Santa Cruz inventory. The industry standard for a healthy lot is 60 days. The Santa Cruz was approaching 150. Production at Hyundai's Alabama facility was cut nearly in half in early 2026, with reports suggesting the program could be wound down ahead of its original 2027 scheduled end date. The core problem: the Santa Cruz never fully resolved its own identity. It shared a platform with the Tucson, a model Hyundai sold over 234,000 of in the same year, up 14%. When buyers compared the two, the Tucson won on backseat space, cargo versatility, and value clarity. A 4-foot bed never overcame that math. Number 10. Ram 1500 TRX. The TRX wasn't rejected by buyers. It was taken from them. 702 horsepower from a supercharged 6.2-liter Hemi. 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. It embarrassed the Ford Raptor on drag strips and made no attempt to apologize for it. The truck community loved it. Federal emissions regulators had a different view. Ram discontinued the TRX after the 2024 model year because the Hellcat V8 couldn't be modified to meet tightening standards at a viable price point. The replacement, the Ram 1500 RHO, uses a twin-turbocharged inline-six, making 540 horsepower. Impressive on paper. But TRX buyers who spent close to $90,000 on the original know exactly what they're no longer getting. What remains is an inventory footnote. Leftover 2024 TRX units, including final edition trucks, listed at over $85,000 with no clear buyer pool. These trucks aren't flawed. They're simply the last of something that no longer exists, priced in a market that's moved on, and that combination is one of the hardest things to sell. Number 9. Chevy Silverado EV. In January 2022, GM CEO stood in front of cameras and announced plans to become the EV market leader in North America by 2025. The Factory Zero plan in Michigan was the centerpiece of that plan, hundreds of thousands of electric trucks annually across the Silverado EV, Sierra EV, and Hummer EV platforms. In Q3 of 2025, the Chevy Silverado EV delivered roughly 4,000 units. GM called it their strongest quarter to date. What that framing leaves out, for 1,000 units in a quarter represents approximately 2% of the annual production volume GM originally projected. 2% of the plan executed, and that was counted as progress. The Silverado EV consistently holds the highest days-on-lot figure of any model in Chevrolet's entire lineup. It sits longer than every other Chevy on the market, including models everyone already acknowledges move slowly. The EV tax credit expiration in late September 2025 removed what had been the primary purchase trigger for buyers on the fence. The price gap does the rest of the damage. Base configurations initially suggested a reasonable entry point for commercial buyers, but retail trims push into territory where a fully loaded conventional Silverado heavy-duty competes directly and still outperforms the EV version on real-world towing range. For working buyers with actual work to do, diesel still makes more practical sense. GM is improving the platform, but current model units are moving slowly, and dealers are quietly steering customers toward conventional Silverados rather than risk losing the sale entirely. Number 8. GMC Sierra EV. The GMC Sierra EV tells the same story as the Silverado EV, just with worse numbers at the bottom. In Q4 of 2025, the Sierra EV posted 1,849 units sold, down 13% from the same quarter the prior year. That figure isn't a trend line moving in the right direction. It's a floor being tested. Combined, the Silverado EV and Sierra EV delivered around 7,300 electric pickups in Q3 of 2025. GM framed that as evidence of growing momentum. The context: the entire electric truck segment declined 9% in that same quarter. So GM's electric twins were outperforming a shrinking market. That's a narrow version of winning, and it doesn't justify the scale of the factory zero investment that was supposed to produce it. The Sierra EV carries the same structural problem as its Chevy sibling, made harder by GMC's premium brand positioning. A buyer spending $75,000 on an electric work truck arrives with specific expectations: real-world towing range under load, reliable charging speed, and long-term battery confidence. Against a conventional diesel alternative, the Sierra EV doesn't fully close that gap. Early adopters who took the leap genuinely like these trucks. But early adopters are a finite pool. The pragmatists running the cost-benefit math are still choosing diesel, and until charging infrastructure reaches rural America at the density of gas stations, that calculation doesn't shift. Number 7. GMC Hummer EV Pickup. $129,000 for a pickup truck in a market where $66,000 is already causing buyers to pause. GMC resurrected a brand name that had been dead since 2010 and charged more than twice the full-size truck average for the privilege. Early reservation holders with money to spend showed up. Then the waitlist cleared and the problem surfaced. In August 2025, GM temporarily paused production at Factory Zero. Around 360 workers were laid off while the company, in its own words, worked to align production to market dynamics. Translation: they had more Hummer EV trucks than buyers willing to pay for them at those prices. What followed was a quiet strategy. New Hummer EVs were placed into dealer loaner programs, driven a few thousand miles, then relisted at discounts of $15,000 to $25,000 off MSRP. A brand new vehicle repurposed as a rental car to simulate inventory movement. That kind of maneuver doesn't show up in press releases. Number 6. Rivian R1T. Rivian's problem is not the truck. The R1T is genuinely well-engineered, capable of towing over 11,000 pounds in some configurations, clever use of space in the bed tunnel and frunk, and a ride quality that draws real praise from owners who live with it daily. The problem is the price ceiling. In 2025, Rivian sold just over 11,000 R1T units in the US for the full year. For a truck starting at $69,000, that number reflects a market that has found its limit. Early 2026 reporting showed R1 platform sales down 26%, with Rivian's stock dropping 5% in a single session on that announcement. Discounts on existing inventory appeared as early as mid-2024. The honest comparison any buyer runs: $69,000 buys a well-equipped gasoline truck with equal or better towing, sold by a dealer with decades of service history and a parts network that doesn't depend on a startup staying solvent. The R1T hasn't answered that question convincingly enough to move volume. Number 5. Ram 3500. Heavy-duty trucks are supposed to be insulated from market softness. Contractors, ranchers, and fleet operators don't stop needing to work because interest rates are uncomfortable. That has historically held true for the Ram 3500. It no longer holds. At its worst recent point, CarEdge data showed the Ram 3500 sitting at 342 days of supply across dealer lots nationwide. That's nearly a full calendar year of built trucks waiting for buyers. The average transaction price: $79,378. At that price, with current financing rates, this is a purchase that requires deliberate planning and genuine financial confidence. Neither comes easily when buyers feel uncertain about the brand selling it. The underlying Ram HD platform traces its architecture back to 2010. Both Ford and GM have since introduced fresher heavy-duty alternatives. When buyers sit in competing trucks and then return to the Ram, the age of the platform shows, and the inventory data reflects exactly what they decided afterward. Number 4. Ram 2500. If the Ram 3500 situation is concerning, the Ram 2500 is what market observers have been tracking with something closer to alarm. CarEdge data from October 2025 showed the Ram 2500 at 200 days of supply, 38,819 units parked on dealer lots across the country. Not a difficult week, not a slow quarter, a sustained structural overhang more than 3 times the healthy industry benchmark on a single model. At one track point, the Ram 2500 reached 460 days of supply. Ram was producing trucks faster than buyers were appearing by a margin that made basic inventory logic difficult to explain. Owner forums document the math buyers are running. A Ram 2500 tradesman that cost around $40,000 in 2022 was approaching $55,000 by 2025. That $15,000 price increase, compounded against financing rates that didn't exist during the 2021 and 2022 buying frenzy, adds hundreds of dollars to a monthly payment. Buyers who could previously justify the number are stepping back, shopping used, or simply waiting to see where prices land. Number 3. Ram 1500. This entry is about something rare in the automotive industry, a company publicly acknowledging it made a catastrophic product decision, then scrambling to reverse course before the damage became permanent. For the 2025 model year, Ram eliminated the 5.7-liter Hemi V8 from the entire Ram 1500 lineup. Every trim, no exceptions. The replacement was the Hurricane twin-turbocharged inline-six, available in 420 or 540 horsepower configurations, which on measured specs outperforms the old Hemi in power, torque, and fuel economy. Buyers rejected it anyway. Ram sales dropped 19.5% in the first half of 2024, one of the sharpest single-year declines the full-size segment has seen in the modern era. When Ram announced the Hemi would return for 2026, more than 10,000 orders arrived within 24 hours. That's not enthusiasm for a new product. That is a market delivering a verdict at volume, loudly, and in writing. The 2025 Ram 1500s powered by the Hurricane engine continue to sit on lots with days on lot figures well above the industry norm. Some buyers are waiting for the 2026 V8. Others went to a Silverado or F-150 in frustration and haven't looked back. Owner forums document the pattern consistently. A buyer who planned to trade into a 2025 Ram walked into the dealership, found the V8 gone, and left for a competitor without negotiating. Number 2. Nissan Titan. There is no entry on this list more preventable than the Nissan Titan. The truck wasn't bad. The 5.6-liter V8 earned a durability reputation among long-term owners. The interior was competitive for its era. The powertrain was solid. The failure wasn't the product. It was the decision, repeated across 2 decades, to never invest in it seriously enough to compete. The Titan launched in 2004 to challenge the F-150, Silverado, and Ram 1500. Over the following 20 years, Nissan updated it, but never with the things American work truck buyers were specifically asking for. No diesel option, no credible off-road variant to challenge the Raptor, TRX, or Tundra TRD Pro. No fleet sales push, no sustained marketing investment. While Ford and GM retooled their full-size platforms multiple times, the Titan aged in place. Through November 2025, Titan sales had fallen 83% year-over-year to just over 2,200 units. Production ended mid-2024. The Canton, Mississippi plant is being converted for electric vehicle manufacturing. The Titan wasn't killed by the market. It was quietly walked away from by the company that built it. Number 1. Tesla Cybertruck. In 2019, Elon Musk unveiled a truck that looked like nothing the industry had seen before: stainless steel panels, angular geometry, a starting price that suggested accessibility. 2 million people put down deposits. The hype was without precedent in modern automotive history. Here's where the story landed. By early 2025, Tesla was sitting on an estimated 10,000 unsold Cybertrucks. At an average price of $79,000, that's approximately $800 million in stationary inventory. New units were being stored in the parking lot of a shuttered Detroit shopping center, while Michigan authorities issued zoning violations for the overflow. 8 recalls were logged since deliveries began in late 2023, trim panels separating at highway speed, a stuck throttle pedal, windshield wiper failures. The most comprehensive recall covered nearly the entire delivered fleet, inadvertently revealing that total Cybertruck deliveries stood at just 46,000 units. Musk had publicly projected 250,000 annually. Used Cybertruck prices fell 55% year-over-year. When owners attempted trade-ins, some were directed by Tesla to pursue lemon law claims rather than receive replacement vehicles. When a manufacturer publicly redirects its own customers toward legal action to avoid taking a product back, the market has already decided. The trucks on this list failed for different reasons, some from strategic miscalculation, some from pricing that exceeded what the market would absorb, some from brands that abandoned the specific things their customers came for. The The thread connecting all of them is the same. When manufacturers stop listening to buyers, inventory tells the story they won't.